5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and I'm coming to you on day 3 of my Bella Talks TV Advent Calendar Magic Extravaganza, releasing a podcast episode every day randomly, every day of December leading up to Christmas. I had such a fun night last night. Today's topic is going to be a review of the live event that I went to last night. It was the Page 6 virtual reality live podcast, which is hosted by Evan Real and Danny Murphy. And I love both of them. Now, I have met them at some previous events, like in passing, and I went to the same event last year. It's like the holiday edition. I'm at the same venue at the Chelsea Table and Stage, which is in like Midtown-ish in NYC, obviously. And so, yeah, I went there last night. And how this particular, luckily, since I went to the same event last year at the same venue, I knew kind of the lay of the land this time. And I decided just to get a ticket and a seat at the bar because that is really the way to do it. To me, like I love sitting at the bar anyway. My husband and I will sit at the bar. We'll choose to sometimes, forego a table and sit at the bar. Like it's a cool vibe sometimes. So I was down to sit at the bar last night. And I got there, immediately started running into people that I know. Shout out Alyssa. Shout out the Strictly Housewives podcast, Matt and Colleen. I love running into other amazing content creators. And obviously Alyssa now has become such a good friend. Stars by Alyssa. Stars ex Alyssa. She was the Summer House Bravo astrologer. My friend Alyssa. You guys, it's just so great to see my friends like killing it. And they inspire me to also be doing this. Like it really is, I'm trying to own it more. I'm trying to, when people are like, what do you do? It's like, I'm trying to really like be like, this is what I do. Like every single day, like I wake up and this is what I work on. Like this is my life's work. And I told my husband that too. I was like, you have to just respect that, everybody in life kind of has these hobbies, and some people play sports. Some people watch sports. Some people, shop. Some people do art. There's just so many, the list goes on and on of things that we choose to do with our time and energy on this earth. And for me, I always knew that I wanted to podcast, and it took me a couple of different times to figure out like exactly what I wanted to talk about. But finally, like talking about reality TV just made the most sense to me because I am so passionate about it and really spend so much time about it already. So it's like, instead of just watching TV, which again is no shade to people that like just watch TV too. Like you don't have to run an Instagram or have a podcast to be a fan of these shows. But it's like, it's nice to just be somewhat of a middleman in the culture in getting to express my opinion about all this stuff. So going to these live events, these live podcasts has really been something that has, I didn't predict that I would be doing but it really does make sense. And it's been like a perfect evolution in my life because I used to go to a lot of concerts. I still do, but I used to go to a lot of concerts or like just other live events and stuff like on weeknights, and always stayed pretty socially busy. And that was something I didn't want to lose as you get older, eventually, and not even just eventually, but it's inevitable also that life's going to change. Your circle's going to get smaller. It's going to shift in life. And I've, moved, and there have been things that have, you just never know. And I've just been really grateful to have met some real friends here through the Bravo community that have turned into like inspiration for me, people that I want to work with, that I do work with, and people that inspire me. It's really just great. So you can never say enough good things. So last night was, yes, the Page 6 virtual reality holiday edition live podcast. And the guests that Evan and Danny had were Kelly Ben-Simone, Nick and Leo from Love is Blind, season 7. Then Jennifer Aiden, just by herself. And then Raquel, Rebecca Minkoff, and Jessel came in from the new Roni, which I don't even want to call it the new Roni. It is regular Roni. It is Roni as we know it, you guys. The old Roni is gone. It has taken us a long time to like mourn it, but it is gone. We get Luann now only through her Instagram, and she'll be on that Love Hotel show. Sonia also is still doing live shows, and obviously Luann has her cabaret. And can you believe me, like the biggest Luann fan, has never been to her cabaret? What is wrong with me? It's almost like I forget that that's real. And that's not just like a TV show that I can go to. I actually tried to get tickets to her holiday show and it was sold out already. So maybe she'll add another date. I saw that one. I love the people that do like on the street interviews, and somebody ran into Luann, one of these Instagram, TikTok, on the street people ran into Luann in Washington Square Park selling tickets for her cabaret. How just earnest of her. She's literally out in the park handing out flyers for her holiday cabaret. I love her. Smoking a cig with a cig hanging out the corner of her mouth. Love Luann. Luann is the original smoker on Housewives. Everybody's talking about Dorit, but Luann really paved the way. Luann smoked so that Dorit could rip. So Kelly Bensmone came out, and I was pretty excited to see her in person. I know she's kooky, and I know that she's pretty unfiltered. And I was like, what is she gonna have to say to herself? And like, why is she there beyond just being a New York City socialite? Maybe that's why this Page 6 event is so interesting to me, because it wasn't just like, even though it's reality TV, based and themed, it's Housewives present and past. So you never know who you're going to get. And Kelly, remember in Roni when the shot of her running down the street in front of the taxi, like holding up all the city traffic while she's running down the street, like on Broadway? Kelly's kooky. So she came out and she definitely kept us fed. First, she started telling us that, okay, so Luann, now she's single. So remember when Lou wanted Kelly to take her to the Rangers games on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, New York Legacy, Roni Legacy. She was so mad. She was like, Luann, or, she was like, Kelly, you better take me to like these games. I want to meet guys. I want to go talk to the guys like in the rich seats at the games. Like, she's very open and honest about her goals. And so now Kelly has not only taken her to the Rangers game, but now took her to a Knicks courtside game. They were really amongst the stars. They were with Ben Stiller. They were with Adam Sandler. They were with, I don't know who some of these people are, but there were other celebrities, people that I guess I should know. Who's Kelsey Asbile? Oh, from Yellowstone. Cole Hauser. Yeah, I never got into that. Oh my gosh, Lou. And then, Steve Shapira from Sopranos. Benjamin Bratt. Wesley. Who is that? Brothers Bond Bourbon Paul Wesley. I feel like I've known this name, but I do not know this person. Okay, anywho, so Lou and Kelly are now both single, and they've been hanging out, being best friends. And they're courtside at the Knicks game. Now that Kelly called off her engagement, and she talked about that last night, said that it wasn't great. Said that she basically sat him down at their kitchen island and dropped the bomb on him that she was going to call off the wedding 3 days before. And yeah, he wasn't very happy about that. So, one thing about her is that she definitely preaches to women to be financially literate and like protect themselves and all, et cetera, et cetera. I did not do that when I got married. I signed my life away. Gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so Kelly did go to Lou's cabaret though and said it was great. Love that they're both single now. She was talking about how she has a new podcast. So everybody was announcing podcasts last night. So Kelly was like, I have a new podcast about my dating life. And she's just really ready. She's single. She's ready to mingle again. She wants to do another Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip with the same Roni girls. And she tells this really funny story about how she is out in the Hamptons. She's single again. It's right after Labor Day. And she is with her daughters out in the Hamptons. And she's a big Hamptons girly. And she said that she gets on Raya. Her daughter's like, you should get on Raya, Mom. Like, you're single again. There's probably like great guys. I think it's always about like distance, right? Like, I've never used a dating app really, but I think it goes by like your distance and how far away guys are. So I'm sure out in the Hamptons, like that would be a great place to have a dating app. And she said that there was this guy that was really trying to meet up with her a lot, and they kept like missing each other because the cell phone service in the Hamptons is just so bad. And she said that this guy kept trying to meet up with her for days and days and days and days. They never really ended up meeting up. And then all of a sudden, like a few days later, page 6, which is funny because that's where we were last night at the page 6 event. She was like, all of a sudden, a few days later, page 6 releases an article and a big headline comes through. And it's Bethany debuting her new boyfriend. And it's the same guy that was trying to meet up with Kelly on Raya. So now Bethany is still dating that guy. The same guy that Kelly was trying to hang out with. So funny. So funny. Kelly talks about how she knows Becky Minkoff from back in the day. NYC girlies for life. I really think people from New York are so cool. I can't help it. I'm so jealous. When I'm here, I like cosplay. I'm such a Midwesterner, but I love New Yorkers. And so Kelly said that the new Roni ladies are nice. You know, I saw a cute TikTok of her meeting them backstage at the show last night. And it's that TikTok sound that's like, are you new here? And the girls laughing. And it's like Kelly walking in and then Rebecca Minkoff, Raquel, and Jessel like laughing. It's a cute one. It looks like they were hanging out last night. And yeah, Kelly just kind of went on to say, like, she had a nice little, you know, I love these live podcast events. I think the guests are on for like 15 minutes. It's perfect. Like a whole hour of each person would be really hard, but getting on and asking them like some of these little anecdotes is really good. But Kelly just talked about how she like loves podcasters and she loves like the podcasting culture. She was also inspired to start one. I think everybody should try to at least start a podcast once, you know, just see if you like it. A big reason why I'm so happy, like I'm challenging myself to release a podcast every day this month is because I really wanted to get like more comfortable with it not being perfect and just like whatever. I'm not even like barely editing these. I used to sit and like go through and fix like every little sound clip. And now I'm just like, whatever. It's really just about like, it's not that serious. It's just a blip in time. And it's all about kind of just having this like cathartic way of like getting out all of your thoughts and opinions on this stuff. So I appreciate that Kelly does call out the culture and say that she appreciates it. And then she also just talks about manifesting a man. She said she's ready again. She is dating. So yeah, Kelly was really fun. Then the second guests that come out were Nick Dorka, which what a bad last name. Like, sometimes you just really get a bad one. Like, and then Leo Brody, which I'm pretty sure he might have like even like blocked me. Because I tagged him in so many things yesterday. Maybe he just you know, is not really interested in like the clout or didn't care that about like retag. You know, some Instagrams love the interaction and the engagement, but some people don't. So anyways, I still loved seeing them last night. Nick was on fire. I don't know if he was like drinking or if he just is always that sassy, but he has found his voice and he's kind of giving like Dorit this season on stage last night. Like he could have like had a cig. He was just saying everything. He was spilling all of the tea, which is the point of these podcasts. So Nick comes right off the bat and he's like, I'm still, you know, he's like, Hannah goes out. He basically right away starts talking about Hannah, which if you guys didn't watch season 7 of Love is Blind, you have to go watch it. It is very toxic. It is a very unethical show, but I live for it. And he got engaged through a wall to this girl, Hannah. Hannah is, for lack of a better word, just kind of a bee. Just kind of a witch. And she was always like degrading Nick and making him feel less than and like emasculating him. And he was trying to, you know, be a gentleman and not tell her to fuck off on national TV. But they did not make it to the altar, put it that way. And so Nick comes on right away last night swinging. And he's like, Hannah is the same person off screen. He's like, I wish I could blame it on an edit. I wish I could say it was, you know, the way the show showed her. No, she's like that awful, basically. And then he said that he's still disappointed and that like he would not fit her agenda. Apparently she would like really get angry when he wouldn't say and do what she wanted to do on camera, and she would like punish him because she wanted things to always kind of like be her way and tell her narrative. They said all of the men in the pods all knew Hannah like stood on business and they could like read that through the wall. They were like, whoa, she's kind of like a lot. But it was like she already was a lot. And then I think in combination with her in her weight loss journey, which she has admitted to GLP-1, no judgment either. She has admitted to using GLP-1s and having liposuction. And she still says, I think, diet and exercise on top of that. So there's a lot going on. So they kind of talk about Hannah for a little while. And I think the biggest thing that Nick said last night, I wonder if he woke up today and he was like, oof, because you forget the cameras are there. You think you're just like there talking to an audience, but the cameras are also there. These clips are already on the internet circulating. But Nick pretty much says that he goes, yeah, Hannah looks great. Hannah looks fire, but like her personality is in the trash. And does it even matter if you look good, if you are a garbage person? I mean, it's like, where's the lie? But I just cannot believe, like, clearly they have not cleared the air. The reunion, the point of the reunion is why Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey are so awful at them is because no one gets any resolution at them. They don't know how to like guide the conversation in a way to like get them to at least be able to leave the stage. They like want to keep it fueling, which is not good. You know, they used to do, are they not doing After the Altar this season? They used to do like the little mini episodes, like to catch up. Where are they now? Damn, I wish they did that. Okay, so then they kind of talk about Leo, right? And I loved Leo in the pods. I loved Leo after the pods. He was the one that was with Brittany, the really blonde, modelly girl who is now dating Maud's son, who is Avril Lavigne's ex. So, I mean, I love Brittany. I love like a wag. I also love a girl that is dating a guy in a band. I just was always like, okay, those are like the coolest girls. So they talk a little bit how Leo and Brittany got engaged in the pods. As soon as they met outside of the pods where they open it and they get revealed to each other, Brittany was like, oh my God, what have I done? She literally audibly says that. She's like, oh shit, like, what have I done? Like, how did I get here? Like, she's physically recoiling, even though today her and Leo are really good friends. You can just tell that physically and chemically she was repulsed by him. She got the ick immediately. So, Leo kind of talks about how he was sad that they didn't get chosen to go to Mexico and continue to film, but it's fine. In the end, obviously they're still friends. Then they kind of talk about Marissa and Hannah not being friends anymore. And Nick goes on to talk more shit about Hannah, saying like, yeah, Katie's not friends with her anymore. Marissa's not friends with her anymore. Like, again, just alluding to the fact that she is impossible. And, I just bring this up a lot because people like that do drive me crazy. And like, I need some kind of character arc from her. I need some breakthrough. And she is truly just not getting it. She's just not happy on the inside is basically what Nick was saying last night. He said a few times that she's not happy on the inside and that's why it doesn't matter what she looks like. She's not happy. Why is she not happy? She needs to dig deep and find out why she's missing that like self-love. So yeah, besides that, Nick and Leo, seemed like good friends up there. They did like a little freestyle rap. Some people were asking Leo if he was wearing his Rolex, which if you guys did watch the show, you'll know that in the pods he talked a lot about having money, having a very rich and affluent family in the art world, and then also having this Rolex that he was wearing and always showing off to the guys in the pods. Nick kind of goes on to say though he like loves love. He really was underwhelmed by Hannah and also the whole process. He kind of said a lot of the guys were, and I agree. Like, we have definitely, I know that again, I call out my own internal misogyny all the time, but I really don't. I do think sometimes we do need to realize that guys are guys. Sometimes, like, as much as we want to change them as a species, I don't think that in the year of our Lord 2024, going into 2025, it's going to happen this year. We made a lot of progress, but even, with the results of the latest election, you're still seeing, a lot of women that even are still like, we don't necessarily want women like that in society. It's almost like that mean girl energy. And then when people are like, oh yeah, but like men can be mean. It's like, well, two wrongs don't make a right. I think the men should be nicer and women should be nice and kind and soft. Yes, kill me. I do. I do believe in that. But I'm a little old school and it's probably like a cultural thing and it is what it is. So one thing I am also loving about doing these podcasts is that I haven't had the camera on and I'm laying in my bed right now and in my PJs, just recording here, talking to you guys. But my dryer, if you can hear it in the background, is popping off. So hopefully you can't hear that. I don't usually record from my bed. Okay, so then after that, they brought Jennifer Aiden out. And this is when I went to the bathroom. I really was not excited to see her, but I ended up still, she started talking about Taylor Swift too immediately and how she's this huge Swiftie and she went to like the first night of Eras. And so she's going to the last night of Eras that's in Canada. And, Jen really, I don't know. Swifties are interesting people. Like, you just never know, like, when it's going to hit you. Like, it just never hit me, even though I know she's about to do Reputation era, which is the only acceptable era for me to celebrate with her. But Jen for Aiden, yeah, talked a lot about being a Swiftie last night. She talked a lot about how the show really brings her family a check. Not that they're struggling or anything, but sounds like she wants that check back. She talked a lot about like arranged marriage and just how things work in her culture and just how she gets a lot of hate towards her family. She seemed really bitter last night. And one thing I will say is she's not wrong, right? Like, her family does get a lot of hate. And she said even that she's like scared to post pictures of her kids because people talk so much shit about her kids and how they're spoiled and overweight and all this stuff. And that is very sad. I don't condone any of that. I think that's messed up. But what Jen doesn't realize is that she does bring it on herself. And I don't know, that's like became something that apparently we're not really supposed to say, I guess, but that's how I'm reading the situation, is that if she were nicer, kinder, treated other people with respect, it's like you teach people how to treat you. So unfortunately, I think that because she's so mean and nasty, people are mean and nasty back to her, and she doesn't like that. So I don't know, I couldn't really like get behind that. But she is, says that a lot of her problems, though, are like rich people problems. Like, obviously, housewife problems, TV problems, celebrity problems. These are things that she deals with. She talked about how she's going to ride. She basically said, I'm riding the Roan J wheels or till the bus till the wheels fall off. Like, she is going kicking and screaming. There's no way that she would ever choose to not come back. If she doesn't come back, we know that it was a firing situation. It's not like she can say, oh yeah, because my family was getting bullied so much online, I decided not to come back. No, you already said that there's no way you would not come back if you were in any way asked. So she's kind of just waiting. She talked about how she really invested in Teresa as the OG. Like, she put all of her eggs in that basket, and she was such a big Housewives fan prior to being cast on the show. She bought her house to get on the show. She did so many things to become a Real Housewife. She's obsessed with being a Real Housewife. I kind of like that. I like the ladies that take it seriously, but I think that she's playing a character on TV, which is not good. I wish that she would just be herself. Because even last night, like, she wasn't so detestable, but she was quite annoying. But I feel like it's way worse on Roan J. So big surprise. She also started a podcast. I think that's a little bit of job security for her too, to have something to do and to fill her time, because she wants to talk about housewives like a lot of the other, two teas in a pod, etc. She will also want to talk about Roan J if she's not asked back and kind of give her commentary. But she said a comment about how Danielle should go to the show Mob Wives and not come back. She was not a housewife. And I kind of believe that. There's a big difference between Roan J and Mob Wives, and it got a little mob wifey last season, and I want to keep that separate. The physical fighting and the glasses smashing, and remember Dorita Devanzo? I still follow her. She is still aggressive. Like, her, Lala, Gigi, there are like certain archetypes that we've seen on our show. They are just fighting. So at the end of Jen Aiden's time, she talked about how it's definitely still going to be a no for Teresa and Melissa. Nothing's going to happen. That is a constant topic of conversation still at Bravo Fan Fest. These other live events, everyone still wants to know if there's any chance that they would make up, even if for the show. And it sounds like that's a no. And then Jen announced at the end that she and other housewives, unnamed, I'm unsure, are doing a cruise called Wives on Waves. I will be on that cruise. I don't think anything's been announced yet. I will be on that cruise. So yeah, so that was Jen Aiden. And then after that, they brought out the new Roni girls. So we had Jessel, Raquel, and oh man, I'm already forgetting Becky, boring Becky Mingo. She wasn't that boring last night though. She was talking shit last night, and she was giving sound bites. So right away, Jessel comes out and they start the conversation talking about the basicness. Is Jessel basic? Did they call her basic? Do people think she's basic? And they really, they kind of went on about that. And Becky was, like I said, being a savage right out of the gates. She was talking about how she gave everybody these really nice bags for the holidays, these like big nice totes that were embroidered and had their zodiac signs and their initials on them, and how pretty much like all of the other Roni girls like turned their nose up to them, including Aaron. And Aaron and Rebecca are fighting. They're fighting. And I think that Becky feels like Aaron threw her under the bus, especially on the prank thing. And basically, I still to this day believe that Aaron was 50%, if not a higher percentage, responsible for the prank. She tries to be like, oh no, Becky came up with it. But Aaron, you've done several pranks. It's like your fourth prank on the show in 2 seasons. So I think that the prank was your idea. So the fact that Becky and Aaron beefing now, I want to see them at the reunion. What's going to happen? Jessel says she's not ready for the reunion. You really have to get equipped for them. She's like, I am not ready. I do not have my receipts ready. They do a temp check on Brynn. It didn't seem that hostile in there. I know that personally, I knew that there were a few Brynn stans that I know that were there last night. And yeah, people still love Brynn. I think that she actually did get set up in the prank. And I think I knew she knew. I know, go back, check the tape, roll it back. Cause I know I said, I'm willing to bet that Brynn knew that this was a prank. Cause she was playing it up and saying some crazy shit at Dodgeball. Okay. So then Raquel says that oh shit, sorry, my notes are jumping around here. I took so many notes last night because these are all my own notes that I sat and took on my phone at the event. I'm really proud of myself. I'm like a journalist. Okay, so Raquel says that her and Aaron are the real New Yorkers. I appreciate that. I kind of talked about that earlier. They bring up Aaron and Uba being BFFs and how it's kind of weird considering that Uba also said that Aaron is basic. It sounds like Uba called a lot of people basic, and they kind of are. Brynn is a nuisance of the group. I would like to see her go next season. I don't think that we need her, and we'll like find other people to stir the pot, but I don't know what they're going to do with her. Andy seems really invested in all of the cast, so I don't maybe think that there will be any changes next season. Uba throws shade to Raquel and Jessel about how they live in bad areas and neighborhoods, and that's just funny. Uba lives in Columbus Circle, which is by Central Park, of course. That's a very nice area. Raquel, I think, is weird in Harlem, maybe. That is not a bad area. It's like basically the Upper West Side. And then Jessel, isn't she in Tribeca? She's not in a bad area. So yeah, I think Uba, I'm still standing 10 toes down to the fact that I don't like Uba, and I kind of think Uba is the problem. People would say I'm racist. No, I don't think that people really think that. I think that you have to, I don't agree with Brynn said that because Uba is acting like this, it's making her get the angry black girl edit. But I don't think, I said before, I don't think she's doing herself any favors, and that she's allowed to pop off, yes, but like, is she ever laughing and having, I haven't seen her laugh since last season when she was at the park with Aaron doing the bumper cars. That was a year ago. That was a year and a half ago. She needs to get back to laughing. Becky owns and talks about the prank and how it was really bad taste to say it was a pregnancy prank and going on about that. I mean, thank God she owned it, and thank God that she understands it was poor. It was poor taste. And Becky also says that she respects Brynn. So not everybody is mad at Brynn. She respects Brynn for being upfront about who she is and the way that she kind of plays housewives. She seems like that, even though Brynn does shade Becky a lot, but it seems like she kind of has her back. Raquel isn't bitter about the prank because Aaron is fair about it, I think she said, but then she basically says like, duh, like I can't really be mad about it. It didn't really involve me, but also like it is annoying that you guys did it. So she's not really like mad about the prank. She just doesn't really understand why it even happened, which I agree with. Mel wasn't there last night that I saw, and I would have loved her to be on stage. I love Raquel and Mel. They're my fave. Mel. They kind of just talk more about how Brynn really was the target and Aaron is the problem. She is the pigeon. And then they also talked a little bit too about the baby still being on ice for Jessel and Pavitt. There, as of now, there's no surrogate. They're not pregnant. They're not expecting. That's still unwritten for them. Pavitt has been getting a lot of heat, and they addressed that last night about how he's being insensitive, eating the chips and salsa during therapy, like not taking her and her communication seriously. But they have a very interesting relationship, the two of them. And they're not your typical modern day, love and romance. They even talked about how Jessel even talked about how she got married to Pavitt because she needed her green card. She went to him and was like, you need to marry me so I can get citizenship. And then they got married and had a wedding a year later, but they're not normal. So I kind of love that for them. And like I said, I'm always talking about how I love the house husbands and the dynamics and these storylines. Overall, it was a 10 out of 10 event last night. Now, there was a dueling live podcast event last night, and it was none other than Brittany Cartwright, Brittany Rottenhill, and Zach, Lego hair, helmet hair Zach, which I'm actually sad. I love Zach. I would love to see a show of him just talking. But I had my friend Cad there, and she was giving me a play-by-play. And Ryan Bailey was also there. Shout out Ryan Bailey. Love him so much. Such a big inspiration for me too, and why I'm trying to do daily podcasts. Like, he puts them out every single day, and I don't think I could do this forever. I don't know how he does this forever, but it is a really good personal challenge, and you get really comfortable and you share so much of your life behind the mic. So that's what I'm trying to attain here. So Ryan was there, Brittany Cartwright was there. She was so sad. So I did go at the end of the event. I left the Roni event, and then I got into a cab and went over to this Brittany podcast. And, I didn't have a ticket, but since it was the last 15 minutes of it, they let us sit in the back for a few minutes at a table. And I couldn't even stay in there and listen to her. It was, first of all, so quiet. Like, you could hear a pin drop, and there was no laughter. There was no it just seemed sad. The energy seemed low. She was just up there complaining about stuff. So we just actually left and went out to the bar. And I actually went home shortly after that. But Ariana's Brad was also there supporting them last night. Brad. And yeah, so there was a lot hustling and bustling. Now, I haven't went and watched clips of that yet to see what she's been saying. But, I'm really trying my best to have an open mind with Brittany this season, but I don't know. I don't know about that. But okay, you guys, I did it. I got my episode out today, even though I had to lay in bed to get it done. But I hope you appreciate it. And you head over to the virtual reality. It's spelled, virtual, and then reality, and then TEA at the end, like spelling T. Go over to their Instagram, watch all the clips of the podcast last night. All the clips of Kelly and Jennifer Aiden. They are quite funny, and you can kind of get a better idea of what I was talking about. But it was a really fun event, and I just love going to things like that and just being, again, part of this circuit here, especially in New York City. And yeah, I had such a fun night. So I will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao, Bellas.